Hey friends, it's Monday, April 7th in the United States and Canada, and this is What Chaos presented by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app and use code WhatChaos. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. Prize Picks. Run your game in Boston, Massachusetts. My name is David Bean. I sit beside Pete Blackburn, and across the room is Sean DePaz. Hello, Pete.
Hello, David. Hello, Sean. How are you?
Good. Hello, DJ.
Hi, little birdie told me you were watching some anime this weekend. Am I telling tales out of school, Sean?
No, you're not. I saw Princess Mononoke at like a midnight showing of Princess Mononoke, Studio Ghibli movie. It rocked.
Pete,
anything that has a midnight showing, I am blindly in on.
Yeah, anime's a tough movie to watch at midnight. I will say that because it's very beautiful, and Princess Mononoke is a little violent at points, but it's got very nice music and very beautiful animation. It's pretty easy to. I was fighting sleep at parts of it, even though the movie was pretty good. But I did watch a little anime this
We
weekend.
don't do enough midnight things anymore. Like as a kid, midnight releases of video games
Oh,
were
yeah,
the
baby.
fucking best.
Oh yeah.
We're the best.
I think I only did that for Madden.
Did you get back on Verdansk?
I did,
Yeah.
and I'm having a great time.
Same.
I'm having a great time.
Yeah,
I
it's
suck
real
so
fun.
bad, but I'm so
Same.
happy to be back in Verdansk. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Okay, well, this is an important show because we'd all like, on behalf of the What Chaos program and the All City Network, to congratulate Alex Ovechkin on doing his job. You're supposed to score goals. Did you
Let
see
us
this?
be the first to congratulate him.
No,
Yes.
did
Be
you
the
see
first to shake his hand.
Yes.
They stopped this game because a guy who is paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to score goals, scored one goal in a game that his team lost. Congratulations, loser. That's my take.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Oh, we can't make jokes about anything. Oh, no. It was great. Shout out Alexander Ovechkin. Shout out the great Chase. Shout out the New York Islanders for winning a game. I turned it off the second that goal was scored, and that's all lovely. Goodbye to the New York Islanders.
You've spent like 65% of the Ovechkin celebration shitting on the Islanders.
I was just so mad that I don't know.
I think you're
I'm
mad
in
at
on the
yourself
Islanders.
for
I
not
think
getting
everyone
those
made
tickets.
that, but like you made a joke. A lot of people made a joke of like, oh no, he's really going to make us watch the Islanders. Behind every joke is some truth. I think people were like, I don't know. I was just worried that he wasn't going to score.
I really did not care about the Islanders of it all. I didn't. Like not in like I don't care about the Islanders. I didn't care that it was happening against the Islanders.
But he doesn't play the whole game. You were like, there was a lot of watching a game that
Right,
you're
but
like,
that could have been the case. Like I had the same interest level for the Islanders as I did for like a good middle pack of the league.
The
Like at this
Sorokin of
point
it
in the
all added a
season,
little
I don't really
something,
care about a lot of teams in the league.
The
because
Sorokin
they
of
don't
it all
matter.
added a little something, I would say.
Yeah, right. I think that, and I think the crowd was really good.
Yeah, and
I think that's really what matters.
As you pointed out, at the part of the game that we did watch, the Islanders showed up at
Right.
least, so it wasn't all bad.
I did want to see Sorokin. If he didn't do it yesterday, I did want Sorokin to let in like 7 goals, but not.
Not to over.
But just Stone Ovechkin, record remains intact. Pete, why don't you tell the folks what we're going to discuss on today's show?
Would love to do it. We're not going to talk about the New York Islanders because we just got that out of the way. For the first time this season, we talked about the Islanders. So there you go. Today on the show, we will talk about Ovi madness. We're not only going to talk about him breaking the record, but we're going to talk about the aftermath of him breaking the record. Some of the fun things that happened after he broke the record. The Panthers are cheating again. They're cheating again. They are throwing games. They are fixing matches. We're going to discuss that and the implications. And then what's next? Somebody in the chat, I think it was Dr. Smackin, to start off this show was like, Ovi broke the record, and now what? What do we do now? Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
We don't know what to do with our hands.
That's the last thing that we really cared about this season, I think.
Chat, by the way, all in on the bit from the beginning, saying Alex Ovechkin, the golfer, question mark. A lot of people calling Ovechkin a loser right now.
Okay.
What a day to do it.
And slate? I believe there's a crazy slate tonight. I was told not to look at it. I haven't looked at it. I'm going in blind. But both DJ and Sean said, hold on to your butthole. There is a crazy slate tonight.
It's a bewildering slate, Sean.
I'd say bewildering is is a better way to put it. Slate itself is not, if you're taking it on face value, not that crazy. But
we're gonna be doing structure talk later.
Well, you said it's the craziest one of this season.
I don't know if it's the craziest of the season, but it is definitely notably odd. I'll say.
Yes.
Is it? I mean, I haven't looked, but. I mean, we had a day earlier this season where there was just an inexplicable 6 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Is it weirder than that, or is it the same thing?
I would say it is a child who colored in between the lines but used all the wrong colors.
Okay, interesting.
Right.
All right.
And I'll say that it would feel less weird if there were a 6 o'clock game for some reason.
Yeah, I think I'd probably agree with that.
Okay.
Wait about 45 minutes.
Let's discuss the fanfare and all that we have now from Alex Ovechkin breaking this great record. The goal was amazing, as a lot of people have said. Made sense that it was on the power play. It wasn't a vintage Alex Ovechkin goal, but I like the greatest goal scorer of all time saying, my vintage goal is however I score it, because I'm Alex fucking Ovechkin. So the goal was great. The stoppage felt appropriate. That it was on the road, whatever, that's fine. But as you all noted, everyone showed up.
Mm-hmm.
I saw there was like one Islanders fan who had a sign that was like, not today. And I was like, it better be today.
Probably today.
And as soon as that happens, that guy's got to be like, I wish I wasn't wearing this fucking shirt. Do you rip up that sign? Do you pretend that you didn't bring it to the game? Because if you hold a not today sign and it is emphatically today, you are an asshole.
I mean, you're an idiot if you go to an if you go to a Capitals game with a sign saying like, I bet Alex Ovechkin doesn't score. Yeah, it probably isn't going to happen. But
that sign rocks. I feel like it's good behavior because you have nothing to lose. If you get it wrong, you're just like, oh, I mean, obviously Ovi was going to score, and if you were right, you're like,
speaking of pregame stuff that we saw, Sean, can you throw up the fan that was wearing I don't know if we can call this person a fan. They are the ultimate hater, and really, I only want to include this on the show to get your take on it, Sean. Somebody went to the game wearing a Sidney Crosby jersey.
So I'm generally anti wearing jerseys that have nothing to do with the game that you're watching. I think they should be of a player or a team involved in the game in some way, with some exceptions. But I love this. Some of the other Crosby Ovi discourse that happened was odd, but generally speaking, I love the behavior of being like, this is my rival.
I agree with the first part of what you said. I agree with all of what you just said, but I think that the reason why it doesn't apply to the first part, like a thing that doesn't have anything to do with the game, you know exactly what the statement is by this guy wearing that 100%. Jersey to the game.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like generally speaking, I have like kind of strict rules about jersey wearing, but when somebody wears a team that's not involved, so many of the times you're like, what are you doing? Like, what is that guy's deal? What are you trying to prove? You know exactly what that guy's trying to prove. And that's an OG Sidney Crosby Penguins jersey. Absolute respect to that hater behavior. It's a Coho. I mean, I famously wanted to wear a
is that Reebok or Coho?
Coho.
It looks like Coho,
yeah. I famously wanted to wear a Marchand Panthers jersey to a Bruins game that the Panthers weren't playing at. So I am all for making a statement with an obscure jersey. But it is definitely like peak hater energy.
Okay. There's that. Let's say the thing that pissed me off most of this whole affair, and yes, it does involve the Islanders, and I'm really not trying to beat up on the Islanders too much, but did you see they charged $45 for attendees of the game? So if you went to the game, had a ticket, clearly paid possibly quite a bit unless you are a season ticket holder, a ton to get it, you had to pay an additional $45 to get a physical printout of the ticket to commemorate this historic event. New York Islanders, this is a very cool thing that you got to be a part of. Not to go Johnny Laz here, but like there's no shame in being the team against whom Alex Ovechkin broke this record. Everybody ascended upon your home. They wanted to go to this great event hosted by the New York Islanders, and you're making it more difficult for them to commemorate it. Like in this, you want to do that for other games because, quote unquote, you care about the environment and you want there to be a deterrent for getting physical tickets. That's fine. For this one, it has to be free.
Yeah, I also think that it's just like it is. Capitalism needs to be stopped at some point. There are lines for capitalism, and
Comrade Pete.
Printing out a ticket for $45 for like, there's good reason why you're offering the physical tickets for this thing, and it's unacceptable. It's just the stupidest thing in the world. There's no reason to charge $45 for it. If you want to charge $5 or $10 or whatever for the cost of whatever the printing may be, fine. There's no excuse for $45 in this situation. There just isn't.
Unless I am mistaken, and unless my friend Rich is just a very nice guy, I went to the NBA Finals last year, and a few months ago, my friend Rich, season ticket holder, was like, hey, remind me, I got our physical tickets for that game. So like, I'll give it to you next time. See, and it's in like a card holder thing, but for a ticket, and it's a beautiful fucking big like NBA Finals. It's shiny and everything. To my knowledge, the Celtics just fucking gave him that, which for something like that, I think it should be free. I think that you should not get in the way of anybody having this thing to commemorate this cool thing that, yes, Islanders, I know it was like against you that he scored the goal, but it's also an Islanders win. So that really is the thing that made me most cranky yesterday.
Chat's having a lot of fun with saying that
Comrade
I'm
Pete.
comrade. Listen, fine. If that's what the consequences, sometimes capitalism goes too far.
The proletariat Pete. I like it.
Okay, the best piece of memorabilia though from yesterday came during the broadcast, or I think it was after the broadcast. I had it on, and they were saying that Ilya Sorokin came to the Capitals room for the celebration and everything, and Johnny Laz must have been thrilled with that. And he was coming over to give Alex Ovechkin his stick because Ovechkin had requested, give me the stick that couldn't stop my puck.
It's crazy. It's so crazy to be like, I just made you a footnote in history. You were part of my big moment. Now let me have my souvenir from you.
I do think, though, there was an hour window in which Alex Ovechkin could ask anybody participating in that game for anything, and he would get it. And people would just do it with like oh, naturally, sir. Yes,
and I think like deservedly so. Sorokin can't say no in that moment, nor would I think would he want to. They're comrades. They know each other. I think that it was a nice little gesture, but I also think it's very funny from Ovechkin's part to just be like, hey, let me keep that for further embarrassment. Also, I did find out Tom Galiti, I think, wrote a thing saying Ovechkin wanted it for his stick collection, which apparently is pretty massive, and he plans on opening up a museum in 2 years.
Sorokin also added, seeing the video with just captions, he added that he'll send Ovi his glove after the season. But he kind of needs that one.
Oh, send it his glove?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I thought you said sending his love.
Maybe that too.
I was like, okay,
maybe
that's
a nice little handwritten note with the glove.
Interesting thing to promise this offseason.
Okay, so this, as you said, this is for his museum that he wants to open in a couple of years. He famously said somewhere, I think it was with Linda Cohn, that this was years ago. She was like, what if you broke Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring record? He was like, I'd go the fuck away. I would. I think he said instant retirement. So he has been on the record, and obviously things change, of saying that I will not play long past. I mean, I think that he's going to try to finish out this season. Capitals are in position to make the playoffs.
But if
the season ended
it would
today,
be unbelievable.
If they weren't in position for the playoffs and he was just like, fuck this shit, goes down the tunnel, never to be seen again, fucking awesome.
Unbelievable theater. Yeah.
No, I mean, what if he did it now, though? What if he was
I still think it would be way better if he did it now. He's like, Ryan Leonard, this is your team now.
It would be cool, but then we'd have to watch an Alex Ovechkin-less Washington Capitals in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and
we'd be
very
talking
pissed.
about how Alex Ovechkin walked
just
out on
fucked
the team.
the
Dude, I was gonna say, like that would be so perfect for this. unpredictable Capitals team. The construction of it, we've spoken about a million times, was bonkers. How they have succeeded and how they have all fit together, and the Logan Thompson and the Jacob Chikrin, and like everything has been positively mad. If now it was like, okay, the President's Trophy winners minus their best player open against the pesky Canadiens. Theater, baby. And what comes after 8? 9. He's passing the torch.
Yeah, I did see a lot. I did see a lot of shout out Wayne for wearing his Ryan Leonard pin during the game because he was wearing the Gordie Howe pin.
Shout out Ryan Leonard. I'm sure everybody saw it on Friday, but after he scored the empty netter that Alex Ovechkin wasn't allowed to score, Wayne Gretzky in the room was like, "Where's that young man who scored his first goal?" I'd be like, "Sir, I was a top 10 pick." But amazing.
That's got to be like the most surreal week in history for a NHL
Talk about a roller coaster.
To score his first goal, or I guess get eliminated in the college playoff, join the Caps, play like the next day in his hometown on the road, then score his first goal, get congratulated by Wayne, then the very next game
Ovi ties the record.
Yeah, the very next game, Ovi breaks the record and is part of that. It's got to be insane.
I'm going to push back on your verbiage. I don't think a Boston College player getting eliminated could feel surreal.
That's fair.
That's gotta feel so normal.
Run of the mill.
Yeah. And then after that, you wake up, normal day, get eliminated, and then next thing you know, you're in the NHL. Now that is pretty surreal. So if he's opening a museum in a couple of years with all these goalie sticks, this could be a side hustle, but it could also mean that he's done playing. I brought this up before the show. I really want him to get to 1,000. I love I kind of feel like he has to, but it didn't dawn on me until before the show. He's got to play like 4 more years to get to 1,000.
Not at this pace.
Not at this pace, but at some point, I mean, the pace is already slowing. It's faster than it was a year or two ago, but to get 105,
the pace is already slowing. He's like on pace for like 60 goals this year.
I said it's slowed, and this year it's back up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
105 more goals. Let's say he scores 33 for each of the next seasons. Let's say he scores 40 and then 30 and then 20, whatever. That's still not 1,000. So the issue is he's going to have to play into a 4th season, at which point I think then maybe the Capitals, I don't know, they should be really good because their young guys are still coming up. They still got Hudson and all these guys, but the score the goal, take the gloves off, see ya, bitch, I'm out of here, then it's realistic because he would have to play into a 4th season to do it.
Maybe. I just think that he's thrown up so many smoke signals that next year is his final season. And doing like the farewell tour, like the Marc-Andre Fleury farewell tour next season would make a lot of sense. He goes home and plays in the KHL. I think 1,000 would be possible if he wanted to do it. I wonder, though, how much he wants to hit that mark, and I wonder how much steam he loses after now having done the big thing. You know, because like I've heard people talking about it, and you mentioned like he slowed his pace last year with the Capitals not being very good, and with the Caps being good this year, he's been kind of rejuvenated. At what, like, how much wind comes out of the sails now that he's done this big thing? Now that like the Cap season is coming to an end and they're going to have the playoffs, and like that's going to be great, but like hitting the reset on next season, how much motivation is there going to be for him to score a ton?
I mean, I think part of it depends on what this team does in the playoffs. If this team makes a deep playoff run, it makes it even less likely that he's going to be able to have another massive season because the man should just be tired. He's gone through a broken leg. He's scored a bajillion goals. Yes, this past week has been this massive push from him. So I think that right now it's focus on try to win a Stanley Cup in this season. And if that is sitting out in the last few games of the season, then that's that. But that takes him obviously further away from 1,000. Something that came from yesterday, and I saw this before the game, it was from Adam Reed. If Wayne Gretzky had his number retired league-wide for being the great one, what do they do with Ovechkin and his number 8 when he retires?
Nothing.
Because you can't retire Ovi league-wide and not retire Sidney Crosby for his impact.
Oh my
But
God.
no way the NHL retires 3 numbers league-wide. I would like to tip my cap to Adam Reed for just kind of thinking that all out.
Asking a question.
And
Asking the question and then answering it
writing
himself.
it. You know, like that was his thought process. And then at the end, he said, here is my work. Here are my findings. I think there is zero reason.
Zero.
Or not reason. There is reason to retire a lot of players' numbers, but it should not be done. And it had better not be done because 8 is a freaking cool number. And I want to see people wear 8 and wonder who are they doing it for. Is it because they like Ovechkin? Is it because their dad was a Bruins fan? Is it because their mom's birthday is August 8th or something? It's too good a number, and don't retire a million numbers league-wide.
Sean has the best take on this. He said it pre-show. Each league gets 1 number.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, baseball's got Jackie. Hockey's got Wayne. Basketball could retire. I guess did they retire Bill Russell
I think
league-wide?
they retired Bill Russell's number.
Yeah, they retired 6 league-wide.
Yeah.
That's a tough one to take off.
That's a tough one. I think single-digit numbers are wildly overrated and can only be so cool. That's a different conversation.
It definitely is.
But
That sounds like it is.
But I mean, you can't just, as soon as you retire more than 1, you start, like, there has to be very special circumstances, not just being great. It's got to be more than just being great.
And even if, and we said this yesterday, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. We had a initial reaction, immediate video that we put up after Ovechkin got to 895, where I don't really compare Wayne Gretzky and Alex Ovechkin. I think that Alex Ovechkin has broken a Wayne Gretzky record, but for his time, Wayne Gretzky was the clear-cut best player every year in his league, and that has not been the case for Alex Ovechkin, which speaks to how far hockey has come, et cetera, et cetera. Even if you think Ovechkin is better than Gretzky, or you think the goals record should mean that you're more important than Gretzky, and I think there's an argument to be made there. I don't totally agree with it. Here's the thing. Wayne Gretzky happened first. They retired his number first, and Ovechkin got to have like Pokemon and stuff that Wayne Gretzky didn't get to have, or whatever. Like, Ovechkin gets all these new things. The old guy gets the number retired.
And it's like, I also think that if you're comparing the Ovi of it all to the Gretzky of it all, let's throw the third name in there. Like, I feel like people don't and shouldn't compare Ovi and Sid, because Ovi and Sid are both like the best version of what they were thought to be when they entered into the league. And comparing them is stupid. Comparing them, like, they're just apples and oranges. Sid's a playmaker. Ovi's just the best goal scorer of all time.
I compared, and it's slightly disrespectful to Ovi because this guy doesn't have like the actual accomplishment, but I compared Ovi to Kevin Durant. Whereas, like, he, I think, is the greatest pure scorer the sport has ever seen. But
that doesn't make him
him the greatest player of all
Yeah.
time. It doesn't even really put him in the conversation of the greatest player of all time, in my opinion.
Gretzky didn't have hot Cheetos. Imagine what he would. That's from the chat.
Just because they weren't invented yet, to be
You're right.
clear. He most certainly would have had they been around.
Hot Cheetos may not have existed if Wayne Gretzky didn't retire from hockey.
Why is this?
Because he's just such a big fan of snacks that maybe Wayne Gretzky had a hand in Hot Cheetos happening.
He inspired the innovation.
We know that the movie
We know
is
that Richard
not true.
Montañez didn't do it.
Right. We know the movie that talks about the creation of Hot Cheetos is like factually inaccurate all over the place.
Pretty sure. That's the best part of it. Like, it's not a certainty that Richard Montañez lied, or that
If Bobby
Pepsi,
Valentine can invent the rap, then
Mm.
Wayne Gretzky can invent Hot Cheetos.
they could retire yellow laces for Ovi, says Ryan. I like that.
I
So,
mean, aren't they kind of?
I was gonna say, it's not really an issue that the league faces right now.
It's like It's like retiring mirror advisors.
Haven't thought about this, but when they retire Ovi's number in Washington, they should drape a pair of skates with yellow laces over the rafters. Like, when people throw their shoes over the telephone wires.
Sick.
That would be unbelievable.
20
until they
years
fall.
from now, when a lace snaps and decapitates somebody.
Yeah.
We can have safeguards on this.
Fair enough.
Or I mean, they could make the what holds up the basically you would just take whatever the steel beams are and just put like a yellow lace coating around it.
That's true. I love that idea.
Though I will say, because Michael's in the chat bringing it up, the one thing I did appreciate about the get in there and make it about blank of this all is the Mike Bossy respect that gets brought up anytime people talk about good goal scorers.
I did see, there was a lot of get in there and make it about blank happening yesterday.
And most of it's ridiculous, but I do appreciate a nod to players who may be underrated.
I did see more than one. I was going to say a lot, but I only saw two. But my For You, maybe it's because we're a what does this say about Nathan McKinnon's Heart candidacy show, but my For You had multiple people taking the Gretzky Ovi games played comparison and doing the same thing with Joe Sakic and Nathan McKinnon, and I was like, there we go. That's what this was missing. What does this say about Nathan McKinnon? We're talking about Nathan McKinnon a little later on. We love the guy. Other things that happened this weekend. The Blues won 12 in a row. Should they be expected to win a round at this point?
Yeah.
Jets, Stars, Knights?
I mean, if they get the Jets, we know the demons in that closet.
I mean, that's a matchup of like all non-hockey reasons, basically, that the Jets would lose, and the Blues are following the blueprint. The Jets have their cursed goalie and can't win things.
Yes.
Those meeting just seems like a perfect recipe for a
that would be like, why do we bother with the regular season kind of thing?
Yeah.
I almost tossed some future bucks on the Blues.
Oh.
But I was like, I know you have like I only bet one team during the playoffs, and I very much respect that. I don't subscribe to that, but I was thinking as I did it, kind of like, what was it last year? Sean was in on something that he didn't bet.
Dallas.
And then, right.
Dallas to win the Stanley Cup.
Right.
Around like January or something.
If anybody should make money off of the Blues this year, it should be Sean. So,
why?
I mean,
because
I
Sean
said the
said
blueprint
it when
thing.
they still had Drew Bannister as their coach.
That is true.
The Bruins fired Jim Montgomery, and Sean called the Blues winning the Stanley Cup.
That is true.
So, like, that's all you, baby. I
appreciate the credit. I mean, I think I have to. I feel good about doing it because I was in on them last year. I feel like I have to run back my Avs as my playoff team. But the Blues would be, if the Blues win a series, I'm fully in on the Blues.
So you're doing like the Seth Jones thing. You were like, I was right about the Colorado Avalanche just a year too early.
Hey,
I did lock in a future this weekend, my first future for the Stanley Cup playoffs over the weekend. It's not that exciting. I bet the Washington Capitals to win the Eastern Conference. Still surprisingly good odds. I think they have the third best odds to win the Eastern Conference, even though they are the best team by the standings points in the Eastern Conference. I just feel like they have all the vibes right now. There's a lot of logical reasons to doubt them in the playoffs, but the vibes, the energy, all the things going right for them, the storybook of it all, I'm backing them. Plus, I think they have an easy path, the easiest path.
Who are they behind? Panthers and Hurricanes?
Yes. Panthers can't win a game right now. We'll talk about that.
I like that bet for you. We're going to be a Capitals show in the Eastern Conference. We're going to be a lot of teams shows, but I was thinking about that yesterday because I was looking at teams that went far last year and kind of where they sit right now. I'm like, there's so many teams outside of the one I'm rooting for that if they made a run, I'd be really into it and really excited for them.
And I mean, I guess like it's happening already since they have the third best odds, but like, don't you think the Capitals are going to be like, are they going to be la-la landed where people are going to be excited to dump on them? Like there's a dark horse that emerges every year when people are filling out their brackets and you see like so many people trying to go off the beaten path and say like, I think this team's going to win and ignoring like the better teams. I feel like it's going to be cool to crap on the Caps when it comes time to fill out your brackets.
Not just, but I also feel like it's there's plenty of reason to think that they will crash and burn. They like the President's Trophy thing. They
don't necessarily have it yet.
Fair, but them having such a great season, like it would be very on brand for a team to be the one seed and crash out. And
they don't have like a real true number one center.
Yeah, and like
their goaltending is a little bit I mean, it's been good all year, but there's no like example of experience in the playoffs to really feel great about.
And like they've been as good as they've been, you can argue that they have not been playing for a Stanley Cup all year. They've been playing for the record, and I don't know what they look like after that.
But that's been a nice distraction, though.
But exactly, that distraction's gone.
There's also the element of like not facing much adversity during the course of the regular season. They've been consistently the best team from game like 1-ish to 82-ish.
And
your best player breaking his fucking leg.
That
is
is
pretty big.
But
that's saying like so they have chomped. They've mowed down adversity. They haven't been slowed by adversity. They faced.
Where's the line of being so good at beating adversity that you haven't faced adversity?
And I think that honestly, Pete, that's where the Capitals are, because I don't know if they've processed that it's adversity. I think that they are on such a different fucking quantum multiverse fucking thing where I don't think that they process adversity, or they severance spoilers. Like maybe they just don't have those feelings.
Yeah, maybe. Somebody, there's Caps fan in the chat saying,
does not like the Caps disrespect.
It's not disrespect. I get the put some respect on Dylan Strom's name. Dylan Strome has been playing like a number one center. I would just say that when you run down the list of like qualifications for a Stanley Cup winner in each of the past however many years, you've got that 1C who is a bona fide. Everybody recognizes that player is a superstar.
Eichel, Barkov,
McKinnon.
Point, McKinnon. Yeah.
Is Strome in that category for you? Like,
I've been rooting for that, though. I'm a old school, build it down the middle, big defenseman, get center, and kind of worry about the rest later. I've wanted there to be a team that just does it another way, because these things change. Running backs get drafted in the first round again, folks. Other part of the Blues thing, did not mention, Dylan Holloway is week to week, and the Blues are preparing to not have him for the start of the playoffs.
Heard Elliott say this morning he does not like what he's hearing on Holloway.
Oh, I'm out of the Blues.
Elliott, Friedman today, Dave Bean in August. Handshake.
I'm out of the Blues.
I was looking for what was I looking? Oh, I was looking for an Arvidsson tweet, and I searched like Arvidsson, whatever keywords, and the first thing that came up was my tweet from like July 2nd. That was like, here's what you do: Skinner, McDavid, Hyman, Holloway, Draisaitl, Arvidsson. Good fucking luck to whoever's playing.
Sounds like a tweet you would send.
Yes. And I just wanted to absolutely die. Speaking of the Edmonton Oilers, Jeff Malott scored the best first goal we have ever seen this side of Jordan Eberle in 2010. And here is how it all went down.
Been up with the Kings for a few games. He's got the puck to the net. Nice move.
But he's still able to get the blade. Oh, he passed it to himself over the stick.
Hold on, guys.
Oh, my God. Don't take it back.
Yeah, offside.
No, don't take it back. They're going to.
You shouldn't be allowed to challenge a goal that good.
The rule of cool.
The rule of cool. Is that a thing you just made up?
No, I feel like I've heard it before. The rule of cool. If something is that cool, you can't take it away. Here's my solution. I came up with a solution for this. You keep the goal. Because this play was very offside.
Yes, it was deeply offside.
There was very good reason to take it off the board. But the rule of cool says it should stand. And when the rule of cool is applied, the player who goes offside should have to go in the penalty box for like a double minor.
Oh.
So you keep the cool goal and you give the other team the opportunity to make it right.
I mean, I think in that situation, you have to just give the other team a goal.
No, they got to earn it. But
well, I mean, no. Apparently, they don't, because they didn't earn the goal.
What do you mean?
Like, they didn't earn the goal. If they were offsides, they didn't earn that goal. The player
who was offside had nothing to do with the play.
I mean, he did in the sense that he was offsides. I am very. I don't know if it's surprising. I'm very anti the rule of cool. Like, if
fucking hater,
if you score a goal, it should be a good goal. And I also don't like the idea of knowing that my first career goal should have been overturned and then people not overturning it. It's like a pity a pity goal. They're
Fair.
like, I'm just giving it to you.
Chad is noting that Rule of Cool is from Dungeons and Dragons. So congratulations to Pete on being a Dungeons and Dragons head.
That's right.
And a communist.
I like sort of am a D&D head. I love Baldur's Gate.
I've never played D&D.
Baldur's Gate rocks.
Okay, I am with Pete though. I agree with you, Sean, though, that if anything there, you just have to straight up give them a goal because it was tied before or
Make
whatever
up
score
goal.
it was, and it was tied there 0-0. All right, we give you a fake goal. We give you a fake goal.
Yeah.
So I mean, my spirit was like give them a makeup call type thing. You're just saying give them a makeup goal, which I like. It's essentially in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, it's just that
Keep the cool goal, but reward. Give your penance.
Or an obvious one that we haven't thrown out is what about a penalty shot?
Well, I was thinking that, but that again is still too much of a challenge if you're giving somebody a goal they don't deserve.
Chances are way too high. You're not going to make good there.
If we need them to earn it in some way, I say you got to pull the other goalie and have just go goalie goal, empty net on the other end of the ice, and have your goalie try and score full ice. I feel like you have pretty good odds there, but not a guarantee by any means.
Okay, well,
just let the cool goal stand, man.
Jeff
What a
Malott,
sick goal.
Jeff Malott is still seeking his first goal, and maybe just maybe we jump on Prize Picks for the next Kings game and say, you know what, he does it. He gets more than half a goal, or he gets more than, let's say, 1.5 shots on goal. These are the things that you can do on Prize Picks, the number one way to get in on the action with daily fantasy sports. On Prize Picks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports even. So you can do a little basketball, a little bit of hockey. You can combine your favorite baseball players with players from esports even, from hockey, from basketball, and much more. And Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you could still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks does not hit. Prize Picks puts their numbers first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. I mean, that is just 15 minutes. That's just one quick Alex Ovechkin goal celebration.
Less than
The time it takes for Alex Ovechkin to get off his big old belly and have a little ceremony in the middle of the game. It's pretty cool. So sign up today, download the app, and use code WhatChaos to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code WhatChaos to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
The weather's getting nice out. Playoffs right around the corner. That means the lights are getting bright. So you're going to need a pair of Shady Rays. Shady Rays is the independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. That's because their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures or indoor adventures. If you're a person who likes to wear sunglasses inside, there's nothing wrong with that. They have hundreds of options to choose from. You're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. They probably also have a pair that matches your team's favorite colors. Like, I don't know, DJ has a pair of orange and blue Shady Rays. He wears them all the time. He loves them. He loses them. It doesn't matter. They have the best replacement policy in all of eyewear. If your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, you don't have to sweat it because they have the most insane protection policy in all of eyewear. I just said that, but I'm saying it again because it's unbelievable. If you don't love your shades or if they take a hit, you can exchange it for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has you covered with personal and fast support. So exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code AC35 for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
We have some breaking news that Sean is efforting right now. I checked Twitter to see what was going on, see if maybe there were any injury updates on certain players, and what I saw was what is going on. Oh, shoot, it hasn't sent, has it, Sean? Damn, should be going through any second. Anyway, I'll just fucking say what it was. It was a video that was on mute, and it was first take, and the lower third said, more impressive record, Ovechkin or LeBron. So that's how ESPN is doing the Ovechkin thing. Immediately make it, that's the greatest, how could get in there and make it about blank, is ESPN saying, get in there and make it about LeBron versus Jordan.
Get in there and make it about anything other than hockey.
Yes, and they did have PK Subban on there.
Great, I'm sold.
Quote they have there is, LeBron's great, but he ain't Kobe. He ain't Jordan. Yeah, I did. I put Kobe ahead of him. PK Subban joins First Take for some hockey talk. So you've seen how we react.
But is he suggesting that Ovi is Jordan then? Like, let's
break it down, Sean.
What's the point of bringing up?
I put Kobe.
Like, who's who in that situation?
I think that he's saying that he puts Kobe ahead of LeBron, which is
who cares? That's the Sidney Crosby of it all, being like, Ovi's better than Wayne. Is like, but what about Sidney Crosby? Who gives a shit?
I mean, I care because I am lightly rage baited by putting Kobe Bryant ahead of LeBron James.
I hate all of this. I'm going to throw up. This is the worst. I hate this.
I don't think you can
much.
tell, but the camera's been on you for the last 15 seconds of you just shaking your head in disgust.
Good.
I mean, that is the most ESPN shit I have ever heard in my entire life.
I
love
hate
it.
this so much.
Just immediately make it about LeBron versus Jordan. And then here's PK Subban from the top rope to make it about Kobe.
Next topic is 100% about the Dallas Cowboys.
My two big takeaways from the show is capitalism bad and ESPN worse.
Okay, not great job. Congratulations to you, Pete. Boston Bruins ended their 10-game losing streak and immediately lost again. There's a lot of things we can hit on this, and we're only going to spend a minute on it, but I just need to note, right after we crowned the Carolina Hurricanes as being invincible, they played the worst hockey game anyone has played this season. Seth Jarvis got benched. Like, it was bad.
Horrible.
Like, astonishing. They got smoked by the Boston Bruins.
I had friends at the game on Saturday, and I was like, God damn, play the lottery. You went to a Bruins game and saw them play an unbelievable game against the Carolina Hurricanes, who looked awful, and you got like the one good Bruins game this season. Congratulations.
I was going to do over 3.5 goals for the Carolina Hurricanes, and instead said, you know what, I'll just take the plain old over, because I don't know, maybe the Bruins will score a couple of goals in there too and make it a little easier. And I got there thanks to David Pasternak's 5-point game.
Mm-hmm.
David Pasternak with Elias Lindholm, watch out,
and Morgan Geekie,
and soon to be 30 goal scorer Morgan Geekie.
Just saying,
don't count the Bruins out yet.
I mean, they got first line. They just need the rest of it.
They're mathematically eliminated, but I would not. I would do your own research on that right now.
I'm so dangerously close to sucking off the Bruins.
It's just you're not there yet?
Not
they're not quite ready.
What happened yesterday didn't do it for you?
They've lost again since. They're in tankathon talk. I can't suck them off.
I've never considered that, because sucking them off means you can't talk about them.
Being eliminated from the playoffs. They're being eliminated from being discussed
about
on the show.
They're off the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess you can't really suck them off in that situation. I mean, who's been sucked off? I guess we can't.
Islanders.
I want to say that we sucked off the Islanders, but did we unsuck off the Islanders?
I said Ovi unsucked them.
Yeah.
Right, by not scoring against the Blackhawks like a man.
Oh, the Blackhawks sucked off? I feel like we don't want to talk about them anymore.
All I'm saying is that this is the most I've been looking forward to the end of a regular season for the Bruins in a long time, with the caveat that I'm not looking forward to the playoffs.
Answer to your question, have the Blackhawks been sucked off? No, because at long last,
you locked one in?
Submitted and locked in. Today was the deadline to do it. I have locked in my replacement jersey for that beauty, that Seth Jones Winter Classic jersey. If you're not aware of this, Fanatics has a program where if a player whose jersey you got gets traded or signs with a new team as a free agent within, I believe, 90 days of your purchase, you can send it in for either that player on their new team or somebody else on the team the player left. We've been throwing around a lot of names. Do I get a Seth Jones Panthers one? Do I get various Blackhawks ones? Do I try to pick a Blackhawks player who could move within 90 days of me receiving that? So then maybe we can just kick the can. It has been submitted. It will be revealed on the show. And I think you boys will be into it. And I did an entertaining pick.
All right.
I don't know. I mean, that could be anything.
And not just not like a stupid entertaining pick. Like it's a good one.
So it's not a Risto jersey.
Levshinov got very strong consideration. I won't lie though, Connor Bedard got very strong consideration.
Yeah. Can we know which color you went with? Or is that part of the surprise too?
Ooh. I will say it was going to be either team. It was going to be white.
Okay, fair. Yeah. I mean, I think especially with the Blackhawks, white's the way to go. But
yeah, you famously when we were going to the Blackhawks game, put me onto that. There was a guy wearing a white Bedard jersey, and
the white Blackhawks jersey is really nice.
Very good with the black letters. Very, very nice.
So let's see. Let's see what. I mean, Chad is saying night. I asked Twitter what everybody said night.
Pulling up with a Foligno jersey though would be awesome.
What's that?
Pulling up with a Foligno jersey would rock.
DJ famously does love his letters on the front of a Blackhawks jersey. Has taken extra steps to.
However,
let's see.
I would not be caught dead with a Blackhawks jersey with a 7 on it. I hate those 7s. So I can tell you, it is not Nick Foligno. Mason Lohrei is a league worst -40. And I forget who does it. Was it? I forget which former player does like
the Masters.
Mike Commodore, Masters.
Mike Commodore does a thing. The Masters. The Bruins have 2 of the last 3 Green Jacket winners on their roster.
Who is the first one?
2 years ago, Andrew Peeke had the worst plus-minus in the league.
Yeah, but he wasn't on the Bruins.
Right. That's what I said. I said the Bruins have 2 of their last 3 Green Jacket winners on their roster. And plus minus is a stupid stat. It just means you're on a bad team. But damn. -40. Bruins have, I think, the worst goal differential in the Eastern Conference. They certainly aren't touching the Blackhawks or the Sharks. Or even the Preds, I want to say. But Mason Lohrei.
But have you considered
they could touch the Preds. The Preds are -60. The Bruins are -54.
You consider the fact that Mason Lohrei was born in Louisiana.
I have. I've
only one.
Yes. So that's interesting for the Bruins. They are, by the way, they're still tankathon, 4th best odds getting the first overall.
Big loss this weekend. Very, very much appreciated.
Against the Sabres?
Yeah.
That was a good game. I love that. Got to watch a Tage hat trick.
Tage Thompson, Fox, dude.
He's the best.
He's so good at hockey.
Get that guy to the playoffs.
The Sabres are so fucking good. I hate it. They're so good. Solutions in the room.
David Pastrnak, 40 goals again.
Legend.
If you were to do heart for teams that miss the playoffs, David Pastrnak.
No,
right?
no, Quinn Hughes.
Oh, right.
They are going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be Quinn Hughes, but like David Pastrnak it's kind of a 1A, 1B, or Pastrnak is a close second, but it's truly incredible the season that he's having with nobody on the Bruins helping him.
Rocking this
Morgan Geekie.
Rocking this Habs shirt for Lane Hudson. 64 points. Ties Chris Chelios for points by a Canadiens rookie defenseman. What an absolute stud.
We can say like he's going to win the Calder, right? Like at this point, he's wrapped it up, especially if they make the playoffs.
I was just going to say heart for teams who miss the playoffs. Dustin Wolf.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Karel Vejmelka.
Yeah.
Really?
True.
That guy's just still fucking playing games.
Yeah.
We're going to, we'll spend more time on it later in the week, but we have to note that the Panthers have lost 5 straight. Their lead on the Senators for the 3rd Atlantic spot is now only 2 points, and the Senators hold the tiebreaker. 3rd in Atlantic would probably play the Lightning. 1st wild card would probably play the Leafs. The Panthers are 2-1-0 against both of those teams, but they just stink right now. Marchand has not looked great so far, and there are allegations of match fixing. I ask you, Pete, do you worry about the Panthers, and do you think they are trying to get themselves the Leafs instead of the Lightning? Because I wouldn't recommend doing that.
No, I wouldn't. Well, I would recommend doing that. I think that Tampa is a better team than the Leafs, but
I like the Leafs.
I wouldn't recommend like intentionally tanking the last few weeks of your season. I think that's a bad idea in general.
Good behavior.
Yeah. I don't think that they're doing it on purpose. I will say I'm glad that it's happening, and not because I disrespect the Panthers, not that I want to see this happen to the Panthers. I am hungry for things to be interesting over the next 2 weeks because the Ovechkin thing is now off the table. What else do we have to look forward to in the next 2 weeks? Like pretty much the playoff pictures seem to be locked, like 95% locked, Cold Harbor style, heading into the home stretch. The seeding thing is never interesting to me unless it involves like a really good team falling out of a preferred position.
Yeah. And we'll get, you were jumping ahead a bit. Somebody in the chat said that the Marchand pick was like a coup for the Bruins. No, that trade, because now the Panthers aren't going to go far if they stink. If you think the Panthers stink, Bruins don't get that first round pick now. Hilarious.
Yeah, but I also think the Panthers have like a little bit of Oilers to them where it's like if they are healthy and they flip the switch, you believe in them despite not having seen it yet.
Right. Okay. So you ask, what do we have to look forward to now that the Ovechkin thing is done? My number one thing is, do those two teams get right? Did the Panthers get right? Did the Oilers get right? Because of the teams that were in the conference finals last year, Rangers obviously not going to be there. Stars have kind of had a weird season, but they can go really deep. Panthers, we haven't seen what they're going to look like in forever. Oilers, we haven't seen what they're going to look like in forever. I don't know if we're really going to end up finding out about either of those things because Kachuk's going to stay on LTIR.
Yeah,
Draisaitl, I think, will play 1 or 2 more games. So that's something to watch for. Maybe like, does Stuart Skinner come back? But other than that, for the 2 Cup finalists, I think we're getting to the playoffs and seeing it then.
Right. That's the only, like, I don't think that you're going to see it during the regular season. You might see a game or 2 of it, but you're not really going to find out who they are as these whole groups until the playoffs when those games actually mean something.
What about Marchand, though? Could Marchand, like, do we just go on Marchand watch and see, can he kind of find his way and get better? The flip side of that is,
but I don't think that matters until the playoffs. Like,
yeah.
I think that if he has a couple good games down the home stretch, what is it going to change for you?
I mean, just that he'll feel himself, but I mean, he's going to be, if he's playing in the first round of the playoffs and it's against the Toronto Maple Leafs, Brad Marchand doesn't need to feel anything. Marchand. He's going to fucking go out there and murder them. What about Hart? McKinnon should have it sealed up right now. He doesn't, according to Vegas, but if Draisaitl's barely going to play anymore, then Nathan McKinnon should win the Hart, and that should be that. But
the Hellebuck of it all is still in the mix, and we don't have to have the conversation again, but I have doubts about the voter tendencies when it comes to Hellebuck. If there's a prime skater on the table and a prime goaltender, I think a lot of people are going to lean with the skater, and with Draisaitl being lightly removed from the conversation, some of Draisaitl's votes are going to go to McKinnon.
Leon Draisaitl is a current favorite for Hart.
Is he really?
Yes. He's plus 105 at one place I'm looking, minus 105 at another place I'm looking. Hellebuck is like around plus 100 at one place. But currently Leon Draisaitl, at least in these 2 places I'm looking, is a favorite.
Let's just reset this one more time. Sean, put yourself on camera. Show of hands. Do we think Leon Draisaitl has been the best player in the NHL this season?
Yeah.
Do we think if he misses enough time and Nathan McKinnon doesn't and puts up a bunch more points that he will probably win Hart?
Yes. That's always how it works.
Like, what are the 3 of us missing?
If we're removing removing time missed from the equation, shouldn't Quinn Hughes win Hart?
You got to win too. I think that's part of the equation.
You got to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's part of the equation.
But I think that like part of that is that Quinn Hughes was hurt for so long. That's part of the reason why the Vancouver Canucks are not in the playoffs.
That's fair.
I should note for anyone listening, the hands were up for 100%.
Think about that.
Questions asked.
At least somebody thought that. That's a good point.
We could have said but I wanted to see Sean's lovely background. Yeah, this seems simple to us, but in some ways we're simple people. So maybe we're missing something. I think none of the 3 of us consider Connor Hellebuck, but I guess is that even something we can watch for though?
But why is Draisaitl now the favorite when he's hurt? When
he was the favorite.
I don't know.
I
don't understand how odds work or how the odds makers work.
There's also like market impact.
Yeah, that's also true. Like it definitely varies based on how people are betting.
I
on it.
love that we have gotten enough people on this show into monitoring betting odds for the Hart that people are commenting when they got on the right person at the right time. Stan says, if Draisaitl wins Hart, I get to buy a new TV. You better win. You better win. I don't think the only wager I've placed is McKinnon plus 1,000. But shout out to anybody who got on anyone like plus 400 and up. But I think it should be McKinnon.
Yeah, I guess like over the next couple of weeks, like one of the things to watch is just going to be if like McKinnon or Hellebuck does anything that really pushes them forward or helps seal the deal or sway the voting.
The problem,
like, that doesn't hold enough all that much for me either.
Yeah, the problem with Hellebuck is they've got 5 games left. Like,
what is he going to
do? Like, is he going to have 5 straight shutouts? Like, otherwise, like, what is he even capable of doing in 5 games?
Trophy?
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. Like, what is he going to do in 5 games that is going to launch him into a surefire Hart winner?
Yeah, McKinnon, I think, could really, really impact his case by like just going off.
Yeah,
and really inflating his numbers.
Kind of part of my point, right? Like a goalie, like a player can do a lot in the last 5 games of a year to impact it, but what is a goalie really going to be able to do short of having multiple shutouts?
Right, because it's like comparing apples and oranges.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
it's like you can't; those numbers aren't going to stack up against each other for the most part.
Well, we've found, I guess, what we'll watch for, but I'll just caution. I don't know we're going to see anything and learn anything, because if through 76 games, we've been confused for each and every one of them.
Right.
Is 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, and 82 going to really provide clarification, or are we not going to know until this thing is crowned, or until enough people put out their ballots?
And Kirk Avery says, I hate Kucherov, but I think he's getting kind of snubbed. You said it before, the plus 7,000 or something?
Yeah. Well, why can't Kucherov win it? If anything, I'm not a McKinnon hater. I've been accused of it a bit this year. But like, if anything, McKinnon's knock is he's been handed this award on a platter to at least run away with it.
Right.
And he's kept it close.
You know who has the second best goal differential in the NHL?
Is it the Colorado Avalanche?
No, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh, I was going to say there's no way they could, because famously they had Alexander
Yeah.
Georgiev on their team this year.
They had one guy on their team for like a month. There's no way they can have the best goal differential.
Eileen nailed it. Miro Heiskanen should win because the Stars are booty cheeks without him.
A good Peyton Manning MVP. I was so in on the give Peyton Manning the MVP the year he didn't play a single game for the Colts, because they were that much worse after he got hurt.
Yeah.
Just like giving it to a guy just because a team sucks without him.
Yeah, that was me with LeBron when he left the Cavs, and the Cavs were like the worst team in the league. And I was like, retroactively give every MVP to LeBron.
Yep.
Ooh. I mean,
how do we make it about
we've
LeBron?
had such a weird relationship with this award this year.
We've talked about it 4,000 times more than any other show, or which is insane to me, because it's not an inconsequential award. It is the MVP award, and the race this year has been so fascinating.
Well,
even like in the beginning stages when people weren't giving credit to Draisaitl, we were like, "What's going on here?"
I feel like we talk about it more than anybody, because we're the only people that treat it as a conversation. Like, especially early on, everyone was like, it's clearly Kaprizov, and then
true.
At different points, people have just been so like, it's obviously this guy, even though it really has not been that obvious at any point this season, I would say.
Yeah, that's the thing. It hasn't been obvious really at any point until, I would say, Draisaitl had like a couple weeks where you're like, it's Draisaitl.
And I mean, like the first month of the season, absolutely Kaprizov.
You're right.
Like ran away with it, but then he didn't run away with it anymore, and people were like, it's still Kaprizov.
Hand up, we have talked about it more frequently than anybody else, but at least personally, I've gotten nowhere. Like
also that.
We have been working through it for 6 months.
I'm extremely educated on this subject, but I
do not have a decision.
I have no findings. I remain confused. We all think we know what should happen, but who knows? That's very good of us to admit that we're not that smart.
One of the things I wrote down a couple things like, do we care about these things? Do we care about who gets President's Trophy? Do you care if it's the Caps? Do you care if it's the Winnipeg Jets?
I think that both of them are a lot of fun, and I think that we underrate how exciting it would be if how interesting it would be if the Jets got the President's Trophy after last year, where they solidified, doesn't matter what they do in the regular season, wake me up when it's the playoffs. And then we go to the playoffs and we're like, but they're the best fucking team.
I mean, I care only because those two teams in particular seem perfect candidates to be President Trophy winners that crash out in the first round of the playoffs. True. So, like, it's interesting in that regard, but I don't really care, generally speaking, about the President's Trophy.
Better story if the Caps win it. I think if you hold a Connor Hellebuck Hart ticket, you absolutely want the Jets to get the President's Trophy, because that is just like a notch in his belt.
Yeah.
Let's discuss that.
No.
Connor Hellebuck for Hart. The other candidates are, you also wrote down the Oilers and Kings home ice advantage. Those teams played over the weekend, and the Kings are now up 4 points with 6 games left apiece. They do have one more meeting against each other.
I've said it before on the show, and you were like, ugh, nice take. You were like, nah, I don't think so. I said it before on the show. I will say it again. I think this is the year that the Kings can beat the Oilers in the playoffs.
So, like, say it with your chest.
I
agree. This is the year that they can beat them in the playoffs. Like, is this the year that you think it happens?
I think, yeah. I'll say if they get matched up in the first round, I will pick the Kings.
Okay, well, then get ready to pick the Kings because they're going to play each other.
Does the home ice advantage change anything one way or the other?
I think it would definitely feel. It would feel more comfortable picking the Kings if they had home ice advantage. Yeah,
of course, yeah.
But I think that it matters. I don't know how much I care. Like, honestly, if they're gonna get matched up either way, I don't really care about home ice.
Yeah,
I think you should care if you're a Kings fan, and if you're an Oilers fan, you should care about that. But like, as a neutral person, I don't really care.
I will say, I think a series going back to Edmonton or going to Edmonton after the first 2 games carries a little more juice than a series going to Los Angeles. Like, especially if the Oilers are down 2, a series going back to Edmonton with the Oilers down 2 has juice. A series going I can't say back, but going to LA with the Kings down 2 doesn't really do anything for me.
I agree with that.
I think the matchups aspect of it matters more to me, for the sake of like the Kings matching up their guys against McDavid and whoever they want.
Yeah. I won't go as far as to say that I think that this is the year that the Kings do it. I definitely think it's possible, though. I just like the Kings a lot more this year than I did last year. And the Oilers have more questions this year. You don't know we've got timelines on everybody, all these injured guys. McDavid, who could potentially play tonight, probably Wednesday at the latest. Draisaitl's going to be back by the end of the season. Ekholm's going to be back by the end of the season. We have not heard word one on Stuart Skinner. And I think that the Oilers can certainly win a series against the Kings with Calvin Pickard in net. But like we said with the Panthers, there's so many questions we have on them that we aren't going to see until playoffs begin.
Wouldn't it be such a funny conclusion to the season if the Oilers didn't have Stuart Skinner in the first round of the playoffs, and a big part of the reason why everybody's talking about the Oilers getting eliminated from the first round is because they didn't have Stuart Skinner after they spent an entire season talking about how you don't believe in Stuart Skinner as their goaltender and they need to upgrade at goalie, and then they don't have their guy and he loses.
Or the other side of that, Calvin Pickard winning them a series and then
that's way more believable and way less funny.
Well, no, but I'm saying then you have the what do you do with Stuart Skinner conversation if he's back in the second round?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that we get to they miss Stuart Skinner. I think they might get to they miss the saves that Stuart Skinner was making last postseason, but Skinner's season has been so frenetic, and quite frankly, it's really just like a month and a half was good and the rest of it was bad, that I think it's a little disingenuous if during this season you're like, man, if Stu were there, they'd be a lot better.
I mean, you can't say that because you don't know which version you're getting.
I mean, unless Calvin Pickard comes out and looks like he did against the Seattle Kraken. Like, if he comes out and is just giving up 6 goals a night, I think it's pretty easy to say I miss Skinner.
Tonight could be, though, Sean, and I'm looking for morning skate stuff, but I think it's just on the West Coast, so they're probably not doing it yet. I believe tonight is start numero uno for your guy, Olivier Rodrigue.
Oh, that would rock.
So that's something to watch. So we've got some things to watch. Like, do teams get healthy? Do they get right? What are the Blues without Holloway? That's a question.
We also have probably a couple more debuts to watch, like a Zeev Buium debut.
True.
At some point, like there's a couple of guys that might show up after the Frozen Four.
The Frozen Four would ever get played.
If they ever want to fucking do it,
take so much
3
time
months off in between. Ridiculous.
I've got one. You mentioned Zeev Buium. Let's keep watching Ryan Leonard.
Yeah.
How playoff ready is he over the next few games?
I was going to bring that up, but earlier I didn't want to be mean. Have we considered that the Capitals have infected their locker room with a loser?
Oh, fuck off.
Oh,
fuck you.
They're gonna
every
get
dog has his day, though, Sean.
Yeah, they're going to get if they get to Game 7. I don't know if you want Ryan Leonard on the ice, respectfully.
Well,
maybe a little disrespectfully.
You know who back in the day, people would say, like, yeah, Ovechkin scores a bunch of goals, but he'll never win.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the kind of guy you win with, which is just the...
We had a radio show back in the day, and there was a certain host that said that.
Yeah.
And at like 21 years old, I was like, I can't have this conversation.
And my counter was, so 20 Alex Ovechkins not winning. So if the worst player on the team is Alex Ovechkin, I would also say that about Phil Kessel. I was like, so Phil Kessel is the worst player on the team, and he's playing on the third line. That team's not winning. But that is something people would say. The new one of that is, of course, Ryan Leonard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously not being serious at all, but fun to talk about.
What's that?
I said I'm obviously not being serious at all, but it's fun to talk about.
Okay, well, I mean,
sounds like you were being pretty serious.
You sound very serious, Sean.
I think the most interesting thing, I still do think the most interesting thing over the next couple of weeks is going to be what the Ottawa Senators do and what the Montreal Canadiens do.
Okay. Do the Senators get into the Atlantic? Do the Canadiens? I mean, the Canadiens are locked in at 8.
Theoretically, they could pass Ottawa. It's very unlikely.
5 points in 5 games.
Mathematically, it is possible that they're not locked in. But
both teams hot right now.
Yeah, I hope things stay the way that they are right now, because if they stay the way that they are right now, you are getting a Battle of Ontario and a Battle of Florida.
The only thing I was kind of rooting early on in the season for or not in the season, but earlier on in the playoff chase, I guess, for a Tkachuk matchup in the first round.
But you may not get it.
No, you're not going to at this point.
No, but I'm saying even if those two teams were matched up, you might not get Matthew Tkachuk.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay, let's do a slate grade, shall we? That was a good conversation. That was a great topic, Pete.
I like the Metal Stews did a emoji version of my hands up thing, and I like it.
Oh, I like.
Sean doesn't believe Ryan Leonard's a loser. He's just asking the questions.
And it's the expressionless face, right? Yep. Is that what that is?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Let's get to a slate, which I teased earlier, has a bonkers structure. And no, Sean.
What'd I do?
Chunked it. Take it down quick. You'll see it. We can slowly. There's one update you need to make on a time.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Okay.
I did. Yeah. When I threw it up and I looked at it, I was like, this doesn't seem as odd as I thought.
You're like, that's actually a pretty standard structure. But we will throw it up in a second. And do you want me to start reading them?
Sure.
Or
it'll take 5 seconds.
Okay. It begins with the Lightning at the Rangers at 7 p.m. Eastern. That is I'll say it's a Kevin Weeks bowl. And there's the slate there, Pete. Look at this structure.
I thought it was
7:30, 10:30, 10:30, 10:30.
3 10:30 games is crazy.
That is crazy. It was a lot crazier when you had the error. Because I was like, why are the Oilers and Ducks playing at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time?
Pretty crazy.
I was like, I believe it. I get it now. This is an unbelievable structure in that you usually get one, mostly 0 10:30 games on any given night. I've never seen 3 10:30 games.
And that's why I described it as a kid coloring in between the lines, but using the wrong colors.
It is a triple tuck. Lightning at Rangers, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's a Kevin Weeks Bowl. I think that Brad Richards or Ryan McDonough might come to mind first, but we'll
There's
see.
Ryan Callahan.
Yeah.
There's Marty St. Louis.
Yep.
There's a lot of
in
shared
there.
players.
Blues at Jets at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. That is a Lee Stempniak Bowl.
Pride of St. Francis High School.
Ooh, yes. Oilers at Ducks, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Lot to work with there. Corey Perry, of course. Adam Henrique, of course. The biggest one, probably Chris Pronger, but let's not forget Adam Oates. It's an Adam Oates Bowl. The Kraken at the Kings at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. This is an interesting one because the only player to play for both the Kraken and the Kings is, see if either of you boys can get it, goaltender.
Grubauer?
Ooh, no. Good
I don't
guess.
know. I can't think of any other goalies. I know it's not Joey Decord.
This player has also played for the San Jose Sharks.
What other goalies have they had?
Was traded. The Kings traded this player for a notable Boston Bruin.
Oh, Martin Jones.
The only player to play for the Kraken and Kings, very good, Pete, is Martin Jones. That's at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, the Kraken at the Kings. And then the Flames at the Sharks at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. This, you see Flames, Sharks, you better think of one man. The great Vezina winning Mika Kiprasov. That's a Mika Kiprasov Bowl.
Hell yeah.
What a fucking legend. This is a crazy slate.
People also pointing out that Oilers Ducks is a Dawn Soap Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yes,
jokes,
it's a
though.
Dawn Bowl. Very good. Oilers Ducks.
A tuck at dawn?
Yeah. Ooh, clear A-. Craziest slate I've seen, though.
I will say, people were pointing out that maybe they were clearing the lane for the NCAA championship. The conclusion of March Madness is tonight.
Cowardice.
Yes.
No.
I mean,
think
it's
that's
good for
business.
business.
Good business. I respect it.
But
You can't not be so naive that you think pointless regular season hockey games are going to match up against the national championship of college basketball.
Can I admit I do not know who's playing in the national championship?
Florida and Florida, because Duke blew a lead right at the end to Houston, and so Houston won, and then Florida. Florida
Houston
first time since
and
09.
Florida. That is a
Gulf of America Bowl.
It's. I was going to say
Jesus.
it's a Laramie Tunsil Bowl, right? Did Laramie Tunsil play at Florida?
Laramie Tunsil played.
No.
He played for. Oh wow! Oh, it's gonna.
Is it Ole
Oh,
Miss?
I knew it was. Yeah,
Ole Miss,
I
it
was
was an
gonna-
SEC school.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, I knew it was another. I knew it was a Gulf, somewhere around the Gulf. I can't believe I was more distracted. I was distracted by other Laramie Tunsil things on his draft night for me to remember where he played college.
There's a request in chat to say, can we do a slate grade from now on? Just be pimp or not pimp?
Is this pimp?
I'll
No.
stop making the graphic.
No, I mean this is pimp.
Derogatory, maybe.
Yeah, but it's playing by its own rules. It's setting its own structure.
I'll say this slate is deviant. Like it's crazy in the bedroom because you are getting tucked 3 times.
You might not be getting tucked at
a
all.
triple tuck in
with
the
these
bedroom.
freaks.
A threesome tuck. Unbelievably deviant slate.
Which of these games do you watch?
Blues Jets.
Blues Jets for sure.
That's the only game I have any interest in watching, to be honest with you.
If Rodriguez starting, I think
Oilers
that's
Ducks is like some crazy potential to it.
Oilers Ducks is fun no matter what. Kraken. I mean,
It
The first 2 games are
It was really bad.
No,
I can't watch Blues Jets because it's on
games
fucking
suck,
NHL
let's be
Network.
honest.
I can't even watch Blues Jets.
we have NHL Network.
I guess, but I don't want to go. Don't make me work for
The
it.
BDSM slate.
yeah. I mean, the slate stinks, but
Slate stinks.
it's got a bonker structure, so that's an A-. Thanks to everyone for watching this program. Make sure you are subscribed everywhere. Also, get on the, make sure you subscribe to our Instagram. We got to get our Instagram numbers up. It's very important that we do that. So make sure you do that. And Peter, if you have some recommendations for these folks.
Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also like this video. Please thumbs up button right below the video player. We would very much appreciate it. Any support you can give us, like DJ said, Instagram, Twitter, X, Blue Sky, all that good stuff. I haven't posted on Blue Sky in forever. But if you want to hit us up on socials, give us a nice little follow. Give us a nice little follow on podcast platforms, 5 stars, nice little blurb, whatever you can do to support the show. We very much appreciate it. We love you.
I will note that the chat is admonishing Pete for sexualizing the tuck, and I would like to back that. I think that there is far too much Ben Affleck involved with the tuck from time to time to sexualize it.
Wait, what? Where'd Ben Affleck come into this?
Ducks.
Yeah, but
There's like the tuck games are always like the Ducks or the Sharks or whatever, and
Or the Kings.
This is or the Kings.
Usually,
yes.
I feel like it's usually the Sharks or Kings.
I'd like to keep the tuck wholesome.
Are you suggesting
prude.
that there's like a
guy doesn't
bestiality element to this? Like, what do you? I haven't made the connection between sexualizing it and Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck is there for the tuck.
All
You're
right.
the one who sexualized it.
Yeah.
This is not my problem.
This is an adult show.
I'm confused, but
Somebody called
That
it a
seems like a me
knifeful talk,
problem.
and I liked that.
That's
an Eiffel talk. I did like that. Yes.
Yeah, if anything, it's a gentle kiss on the cheek. Because when I think of the tuck, it's what you're watching in bed as you fall asleep.
Yes.
You're not.
Yeah, but like that's usually the case.
But you got some freaks in bed.
That's what I'm saying here is that like
They're not gonna
you're
let you
getting
go to
into
sleep.
bed expecting a nice kiss on the cheek, and then suddenly you've got a whole party in your bed.
3 people are talking.
Next thing, so you know, there's multiple bodies.
You got somebody knocking on your door saying, "I'm here for the gangbang."
You got someone in the chair in the corner.
You are Mitch from old school,
famously. Yeah.
You are going home expecting one thing, a nice little talk, and you're getting a whole different thing. That's why this is a weird BDSM slate.
Chat's getting weird. We got to end the show.
Okay, bye.
We all silly like the mayor.